on my lead.
All right. I don't recognize this world.
We don't have to recognize it. We just have to save it.
Shall we? In order for us to be able to relate to this movie, we need to have things that we're all familiar with. And who's not familiar with Mercedes, right? So I think it was a good choice. I was very impressed.
It's the only one, so golf, be careful.
So I just drive. The car Diana drives is very elegant and not too flashy. Very chic and practical.
So we're gonna have to get
Power. Do I get to keep the car once we're done with it? It's fun. I love driving. Yay! It feels good.
What are your superpowers again?
I'm rich.
Bruce Wayne has no shortage of ways to get around. He's got this pretty cool civilian Mercedes car that we're showing in the movie, which is pretty awesome.
Zack Snyder, the director of the film, saw the Vision GT, which was an electronic remote-controlled concept car that was designed by Mercedes for the video game Gran Turismo. And because it was just designed for the game, it was never a real functioning vehicle. And because Ben Affleck, who plays Bruce Wayne and Batman, is 6'4", in order to make it work for our needs, they expanded the car about 10% when they built it out.
This is really a dream project for any designer to be able to do something like this, because we were responsible for the original concept that has now been translated into this movie car. So the original show car didn't have an interior in it, so we had to basically create an actual physical interior.
This has got to be one of, if not the coolest, Bruce Wayne-related vehicles in the history of man.
It's not even a wheel. You can't even call it. They're reinventing the wheel.
All right, I like it. Let's film it.
Then we shoot rockets, right? Like after we have this conversation.
To put Bruce Wayne behind the wheel of an experimental prototype vehicle like the VGT, it's a great fit.
I think they made it also just to, especially to look awesome.
A lot of people want to take pictures with the car.
Enormous support from Mercedes, huge support from Mercedes, both with sort of background cars and this project on the whole. And having Bruce Wayne's car, I've never seen a car like this associated with any character in any movie. So this is really unique and super exciting.
Hey everybody, we got new Justice League coming tomorrow, and it sounds like everybody's getting a brand new car. I love the way they pitch that, like Wonder Woman gets her own Mercedes, Batman gets his own special concept car. Like when you're making a movie as big as Justice League, Mercedes will hallucinate you a car, then build it. Like they had an idea for a car that was in a video game that they then literally built into a car and had to make even bigger so that Ben Affleck, who's huge in real life, could fit into it. There's some new giveaway stuff happening at the end of the video, but be sure to subscribe to get everything this weekend. It's New York Comic Con, so there's other Batman-related stuff happening, but mostly Justice League tomorrow, and there's some special stuff tonight that's happening that I'll talk about in a second. The interesting thing about all this is that we haven't really seen a whole lot of this version of Bruce Wayne outside of the Batcave in Batman v Superman. And that's only after he's been Batman for about 20 years, and he's almost at the end of his career. Like, he hasn't been Batman for a little while when Man of Steel picks up. And then they have that big opening set piece during Batman v Superman where all that Kryptonian stuff triggers him, and you get to the events of that movie, and suddenly he's Batman again, and Superman's sacrifice inspires him. So he's got this big second win, but he still has most of these assets. Like, you see Wayne Manor that's in ruin. So it's a little hard to place him or Wayne Enterprises because at various times in the comics, he's super rich and like he jokes about it in the trailer. What's your superpower? I'm rich. So he has a giant fleet of cars. The one that he drives at any given time is just suited for whatever story they're telling. Like if it's Batman the Animated Series, they tend to drive older, classic-looking cars because that was sort of the style of that series, which actually had my favorite Batmobile of all time. Batman the Animated Series is still the coolest-looking Batmobile in my mind because it has this futuristic yet very classic look to it, because that was the whole idea, to blend these modern design concepts with this really classic sensibility. I know everybody's wondering about that final trailer that they're dropping. Are they going to put Superman in it? And I know there's still questions about who Alfred is looking at here. I just love some of the conspiracy theories. Like some people think that it's Supergirl, some people think that it's Green Lantern because they get called out in the movie, no lanterns, no Kryptonians. But because of the apocryphal stories about how they recut the ending of the film and how they changed things, I'm just assuming that they actually took a lot of the extra stuff out. So they're keeping it a little bit simpler, like they're not trying to overstuff it with characters. So while I do think that they'll tee up the idea of Green Lanterns in the DCEU, the chances that we'll see a physical Green Lantern show up are relatively small. That doesn't mean that we won't see it. It just means that I'm not expecting it. But I think the whole clue about this Alfred scene is in the way they put music in that trailer. It's the Man of Steel soundtrack. Like when Junkie XL was still scoring the soundtrack when they released the initial trailers, it had some generic Junkie XL music over the trailer.
Talk. I believe that an enemy is coming from far away. I'm looking for warriors. This stranger.
But then as they've sort of hyped up how hopeful the movie is, like it's all about the return of hope to the world, the return of Superman, they put Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel soundtrack on it. So I think that's just the clue as to who shows up.
Superman was a beacon to the world. He didn't just save people. He made them see the best parts of themselves.
All right. I don't recognize this world.
We don't have to recognize him. We just have to save it.
So what'll happen is I'll post my trailer video tomorrow morning, and because they haven't put Justice League tickets on sale yet, I'm actually going to do a giveaway for IMAX gift certificates, and they'll just be generic and you can use them for Justice League. So if you watch my Flash videos, Flash is starting next week. The giveaway for the first couple weeks until we get to Justice League will be for movie tickets. Usually I do Flash rings, but just because Justice League is so big, I figure people would rather do that than the Flash rings, just because it feels a little more relevant. But if you didn't know, Flash is back next week. So all you have to do to enter that is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. I'll announce a winner when I post my Justice League trailer tomorrow. But also, if you didn't know, today is Rick and Morty's Szechuan sauce day. They're actually selling Szechuan sauce in select McDonald's. Maybe there's one in your area. I'll actually put the website link in the video. So I got new Rick and Morty coming, and it's sort of like new footage day. I guess Marvel saw that the Justice League trailer was coming out. They're not releasing Infinity War, but they did drop new Thor footage, so I'll post a video for that next too. While you wait for everything, you can click here to get a look at the new Flash costume, and you can click here for more Rick and Morty. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.